Santa Fe CLIC book for 1991. This one's Western Region. Bulletin number 6. Car location inventory control, or cars lost in California, as one former Santa Fe employee put it. Goes from milepost 6.0, which is Highgrove, to milepost 36.4, which is Esperanza. Also includes the San Jacinto Subdivision, and that goes with zones 30, 31, and 43, revised in September 1991. This also also has a portion of the old Lake Elsinore Branch. Not very long, just into the 3M mine, but you'll get the picture. A CLIC book is similar to a SPINS book that Southern Pacific had, showing crews where to put the train cars or where to pick up the train cars. All the 1991 books list all the different SPINS books, or CLIC books for Santa Fe. And then this talks about car location identity codes and what the numbers mean, and this is the best way to put it. The zone number, the track number, the spot number. Most of the things we'll be dealing with here are the track numbers. For those that like to keep track of zones, you'll see the zones. The track numbers and the spot numbers are mainly what you see in the book. And that goes through describing the work documents, etc. We're not doing that here today. This is a smaller book than some of the other ones I've been dealing with, so I'm going to include the alphabetized business list. And the first one on the list is going to be 84 Lumber, 3006. And then it lists all the different businesses that existed in 1991. How many of these are here today? A handful. I'll note the ones that I know of as we come along. E.B. Carpenter still exists. Some Ys don't exist. Elsinore District, it's kind of there. Lily Tulip Cup Company's gone, but the tracks are still back behind the old building. Out of service, passing tracks. And then we have a few more. Like I said, it's a shorter list. Past the track at Prado Dam, that still exists. If you got a better name, then I'm going to destroy this. Porphyry storage track. Someone said it's Porphyry is a pronunciation, but that doesn't work for me. So I'm going with Porphyry. That's the old Elsinore branch. Continuing, Star Milling, one of the Star Milling places still exists. Thacker Aluminum's gone, that as far as I can tell. Storage track, more Ys that don't exist. So that gives you the alphabetical, and now we go for the individual. So this one goes from Highgrove Railroad West to Esperanza. So here it gives a list of, says the main line for San Jacinto District, also known as the San Jacinto Sub. And then various businesses. And then here's the map. So it shows San Bernardino's up here, 84 Lumber's here. If you're familiar with the tracks, the track on the south is called the South Track. The track on the top is called the North Track. That's been for their street running style. Coming down here, this is a set-out track in Highgrove, and then the San Jacinto branch comes off here. Some of these tracks still exist. These new businesses there, they're gone. This shows Union Pacific as a hashtag here. This is the old Riverside Junction where Union Pacific separated from the Santa Fe and then ran on their own track and then headed into the LA sub. Some of these tracks are still here today, others are gone. This shows Highgrove Zone 30, and then Riverside Zone 30 also. These tracks here, I believe, are part of the old tracks that ran along Commerce Avenue, and then served the different warehouses. Then on the south side of this, if you're interested in the historical area of Riverside, I did the spins book for Riverside, Southern Pacific, and their warehouses were on the south side being served, or actually, the warehouse on the south side was being served by Southern Pacific, on the north side served by Santa Fe. This track here comes to FMC, Farm Machinery Corporation, and these tracks still exist in the middle of a bridge for Commerce Avenue. Okay, continuing west. Here's a list of our businesses. ER Carpenter still exists. That's it. None of the other businesses that are listed exist. So, ER Carpenter is here. The Y is gone. If you look at Google Maps, you can see where the Y was. All these tracks are gone. These tracks are gone. You come down here. The feed business is at Van Buren is no longer in business. Tracks still exist. This one track coming across here still exists. Everything else is gone. It's double tracked. It's Amtrak Southwest Chief runs on these tracks. Metrolink runs on these tracks, and of course now BNSF runs on these tracks. Continuing, it says La Sierra Team Track gone. Passing track at May gone. May Team Track is gone. And then just shows a little. Here's La Sierra, and there's May. Continuing west. And this gives us coming into Corona. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. There we got Corona right off Sunkiss. Porphyry exists. Most of these other things do not. And the whole track layout, the whole schematic down there is totally different. There used to be a Y. The Y is gone. This shows Elsinore Division. This would have been the Elsinore sub, going all the way down to Lake Elsinore at one time. This leg of the Y is gone. This business here is gone. The storage tracks, totally differently configured. Sunkist and everything having to do with Sunkist over here is gone. This is now, these tracks down here would go to various businesses. The tracks going south are mainly severed. The north tracks, I don't know. I don't have access to that side. Doesn't want to fold nice. Okay. West Corona storage track still there. Certified grocery, gone. Dark container, gone. Certified grocery tracks, if they use them, would be serving the monster warehouse. They used to have two tracks parallel, and they line up the boxcars so you could just put a forklift plate between them and unload two boxcars at a time. Whoops. Sorry for the bump. So down here would have been the two tracks serving the old certified market people, now Monster, and then that was the extra cars placed there. This still exists. This may exist. That, not too sure about. Well, yeah, Prado Dam. I think there's still a set-out track there. And then there's Esperanza. Okay. Now we go back to the San Jack Division. I didn't show you what was supposed to be there first, sorry. So San Jack, Maine, Lily Tulip siding. Lily Tulip siding still exists. There's new businesses down here. There's a lumber yard. These tracks go in behind the Lily Tulip building, but they don't have any cars on them. This is the tracks that would go to Fulton. So this is the original Santa Fe, California Southern main line going south to San Diego. And then here it's the San Jac subdivision. Over here there's now a spur coming down that serves Union Pacific customers on the old Southern Pacific Riverside branch. Box Springs Sidings, Box Springs Team Track. A couple businesses and lead track. I'm hoping to find a CLIC book older than this, prior to where the railroad goes underneath the 215 freeway or 60 freeway or 6215 interchange. Before they built the aqueduct coming down Lake Perris, there used to be multiple tracks up at Box Springs. I'm thinking they used to have to double a train because of the hill, but I've yet to find anything for that area. So that shows Box Springs, March Field, shows the depot, doesn't show the tracks going to March. Then we have Alessandro. Alessandro is a lot busier than this now. There's a Metrolink station about here, and then this is a small classification yard. And they're now double tracking the San Jac sub for Metrolink, at least portions of it, through Perris. Okay, here's your next set. Gives you businesses. McNally Enterprises, I believe they're gone. The Water District still gets service, get chlorine to go into Lake Matthews. Star Milling still exists. Mayor Farms Team Track still exists. Perris Team Track is gone. And then I like the way they did this. 3172 is Railroad Museum. 3172 is basically the Southern California Railway Museum, or the Orange Empire Trolley Museum, whatever you want to call it. It's their that's their track. So coming down, this is still used. The Y is still used. There's a few extra spurs along here. Some of these spurs have been taken out of service. These are still used along here. Coming into Perris, this shows the lead for the 3170 for the train museum, and then the branch turns and goes toward San Jacinto. These tracks are gone, those tracks are gone. It's a relatively new book. I don't want to bend it up too badly. There we are. Mainline Railroad Museum. So here 3172 is the Railroad Museum going all the way down to the end where it ends. Their track ends. It shows Winchester Team Track. That's the last item there. At one time there was a Y. The Y is gone. Now you just have the track comes across here, cuts across, and then down here is the train museum, whatever you want to call it. It's got so many names. These tracks are out of service. There's some rail you can see at one of the warehouses, but they're out of service. This track is out of service. There's a lumber yard here, still in business. This would be where the 215 freeway would come across. This is the last business served by the BNSF today. Tracks are severed. A few places along here. Winchester shows Winchester Team Track. There's an auger there. There's still, I think there's 3 tracks at Winchester. This shows 2. So things got expanded at one point. When I worked on the Metrolink project, we were going to put a station at Winchester. We'll see if that ever happens in my lifetime. Okay, continuing south. We have various businesses. None of these businesses are in business any longer because there's no agriculture business, or actually anything south of the lumberyard at the 215 freeway there. Tracks are severed. Nothing exists. But this shows what was there. The rails are still there. They've been chopped up from road construction, but you can follow the main line down. If you did it in a speeder, you'd be hitting dirt a bunch because they paved over a lot of grade crossings. This complex still exists. This is the old Y. in Jacinto. Tracks still exist in the field all the way up to short of the cross street here, whatever it is. I'm not that familiar with that area, but there are tracks in the grass. And there's still a working switch right here. The other leg of the Y, the ties are still there showing the leg, but the rails are gone. At one time, this served a concrete company just across the grade crossing here. Continuing north toward the end of the line, these tracks are still here. Comes to the last page. Potatoes were a big thing in San Jacinto, and so there's a passing track. East leg of the Y, west leg of the Y is gone. Various businesses. I like. That was it for the, let me go back a page. Video's too long to try and edit this out. I'm not that good at editing yet. So that was the end of the San Jacinto spur or sub, and these tracks, some of them are still here. This was a potato loading facility that got served. Then the next page we go on to, because me wasn't paying attention, is the old Lake Elsinore spur. And now it goes to Porphyry. I got somebody playing something around me. So, shows passing track, east leg of the Y, west leg of the Y. Y is gone. So, this Y doesn't exist. Tracks do come down through here and then end at 3M, and then at one time the Lake Elsinore spur continued that way. And then we come to the end, where the last page says blank.